Hey everybody, so today I'm here to do a chit chat video with you guys. I've got a lot of things to update you on, so I'm just going to kind of jump into it. So the first thing I wanted to mention was Sophie starting school. She started school in September, in the middle of September, and it has been going so well. Now, that's not really a surprise to me or her dad or anyone really, because Sophie really is so outgoing and independent that we all kind of figured that this is how it would be with her starting school. And it's been really interesting because it's also my first time having a preschooler, so I had no idea how things would be. I was nervous for a lot of stuff, and honestly, it's been going super well for myself as well. And for those of you who might not know or haven't watched older updates, I did mention that I was going to kind of volunteer work, like not seriously though, at Sophie's preschool, and that has been going really well too. So basically every single day there's a parent of the day who helps out with snack time and really anything, honestly, but the majority of the responsibilities is snack time and then, cleaning up and whatever. But it's been going really well. I was really nervous my first day and it went good, and I've also done it a couple more times since filming this, and I have nothing but good things to say about it, and I'm really glad that I am doing it. She has grown to really like me being there, which is good because, I love that Sophie's independent. I love that she is able to do these things and kind of have no hesitations about them. It's amazing. I love that we've, been able to keep that instilled in her, because honestly, she's been like that since she was an infant. But at the same time, it does also hurt hearing some of that stuff sometimes, like, she wants to do things on her own, and you're like, oh, I kind of want you to want me a little bit more, so it's kind of hard as a parent to hear it. I keep pausing and breaking to get the girls to quiet down out there and then trying to continue to talk, but it's just not going to happen. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right before dinner time. Mark's out there with both of them, so if you hear them yelling and shouting or possibly even fighting in the background, this is what 4 o'clock looks like at my house. Everybody is like chomping at the bit. We're ready to eat dinner and put the kids in bed. But no, preschool all around has been going really, really good, and I just have zero complaints. And I just feel like also the preschool itself has been a really good fit, not just for Sophie, but also for Mark and I. It's really, really hands-on. Like, the parents are really supposed to be involved, and I really like that. It's just got like a really big sense of community and helping each other out and being involved in, like, not just the little aspects of our kids' education, but it's kind of like advertises like, this isn't just a school you pay for your kids to go to, it is your school. So it's very welcoming, inviting, and it's just been a really, really good experience. And I'll just be honest, I was kind of worried about like the whole other parents things. I didn't know if they, being around a whole bunch of other parents, if it would be nice, if it'd be awkward, if there'd be tension and stuff like that. But honestly, every single parent or grandparent that I've met is so nice. They really are. So I'm just really thrilled with this experience. And Sophie's having a good time. I'm having a good time. We're all really happy with this. So that's the first thing, because I feel like September was really revolved around that and just trying to see how she adjusts and things, which I think has been going really well. So that is pretty much everything I think for Sophie that I can think of. I mean, her 4th birthday is coming up because we're now in October. I'm filming this on the 2nd, and her birthday is at the end of the month. She also has her birthday party coming up, which is going to be a week before her birthday. I'm doing a Vampirina birthday party. I'm going to put a haul and also like an overview of what the party turned out looking like on my channel, because I could find zero ideas for Vampirina birthday parties. I think it's because it's a new show in the US. I saw a lot of other ideas, but they were in a different language. I'm not sure what that language was, but I'm going to take that as they were airing Vampirina in a different country, and now they kind of brought it to the US. So I got as many ideas as I could off of basically Pinterest and Etsy, because there's not even a lot of like, I can't just go to Walmart and buy decorations there because it's not even that popular yet. So it's been kind of difficult, and that's why I want to make that video so people can see where I got things. Halloween is also a great help. This birthday and also her first birthday when it was our little pumpkin is turning 1 was so easy to do because it's like Halloween kind of stuff, and her birthday is just perfect for that because it's at the end of October. But that is basically everything with Sophie. And then about Remy, things have been going really good with her as far as like how she's been taking Sophie going to preschool. And I don't know, like there's not really a whole lot to say. You know, I just let her follow me kind of all around the house, and she doesn't have her sister there because normally they're side by side for most of the day. So I just kind of leave the gate open and I let her follow me around. But Remy is really good. Like she's not really one to get into trouble or do things that she shouldn't. Always been that way. Like she doesn't like to be in trouble, so she doesn't really cause a whole bunch of it. So I'm okay with just kind of leaving the gates open and letting her follow me around while her sister's at school. And it's also been nice to just to have some one-on-one time with Remy because, you know, we've never had that before. You know, with Sophie, we had 1.5 years of alone time with her because she was our only child. But with Remy, you know, all we've known is having her and Sophie, and all that she's ever known is having her sister around. It's been really kind of interesting and fun, and I'm just very thankful for this time that we're gonna have together because I know those alone times with Sophie were so much fun. Like I look back on them all the time, and you know, I'm so thankful that I got all that time with her. And same goes for Remy. I just know that I'm going to do the same. And she also did get a big girl bed, which is a floor bed. If you guys are new to my channel or my videos, Sophie, my oldest, is going to be 4, and she's had a floor bed since she was 1.5 years. And that was because she was crawling out of her crib constantly, and it was just becoming, I don't know, I just felt like it was getting too dangerous. So we were hoping that she would like phase out of it and maybe she would just sleep in her crib even though she knew how to do it, but she did not. So we quickly moved her into a floor bed. And with Remy, she's always just been such a great sleeper. Like you put her to bed and she wants to go straight to sleep. She doesn't like mess around or anything. Like she's literally rolling over to go to bed when you walk out of the room. And same with waking her up. Like every single morning I have to wake Remy up because she's still sleeping. This kid could sleep forever if I let her. But she's never really done anything like that until the other day when I went to go get her out of her bed, and she was standing right there when I opened the door, and it scared the crap out of me. And I was like, oh, here we go. And you know, honestly, with Remy, since she is, you know, 9 times out of 10, she obviously knew how to do that, but she's been staying in the crib, so it probably would have been fine. But I just didn't want to really deal with it. I knew my experience from Sophie, and it only got worse. Like she only kept doing it more and more. So we just decided to take her crib down that night, made sure that everything was out of her room that we didn't want her to have access to. It was mostly like her old baby stuff. So like her car seat's sitting right next to me in my room. We put the kind of, what's that thing called, like the extra saucer entertainment table, I can't even think of what it's called anymore, that thing away. We put the kind of baby basket, I don't even know what you would call that either. I've got like this tote that I have a whole bunch of stuff for the next baby when we do conceive that child. So I had to put that away because it doesn't fit under our bed, but it does fit underneath the crib. And there's just some other stuff that had to go up, and that was kind of hard to look at because honestly, the whole reason it was in Remy's room in the first place was because we were convinced that it would be silly to put it up in our loft area because we were going to need it soon. So we were like, it's just kind of silly to put all that away when we're just going to get it right back down. And it just kind of sucks the timing because it is October, November is just next month, and it's just like, if things had been different, we would need it next month, but we don't because things aren't different. They're exactly how they were in May, and it just kind of sucks. So it was really hard for me to swallow that because I do a pretty good job of like trying to keep those kind of thoughts at bay and try and tell myself, you know, like nothing could have ever been any different. You know, this is how things were going to be from the start, and there's no sense of thinking about what could have been because this is the outcome and it's not going to change. But in moments like this, it is really hard. It is. I know November is going to be such a hard time for me because I'm going to have those thoughts constantly. Again, if you're new to my channel or my videos, my first miscarriage happened, my first miscarriage ever before I was even on YouTube, happened in November. And literally, I think it's, let me think, 2 days, 3 days after that was my due date for the pregnancy that we had in May, or well, March, but it ended in a 12-week miscarriage in May. So November, specifically those very few days in between, is going to be hard to swallow. And I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm not trying to pen up a whole bunch of anxiety around it in hopes that it's like I'm gonna get through it the same way I got through September and October and, you know, all these other months. I'm gonna get through it. So I'm trying not to go at it like, oh, this is gonna be a hard month. I'm just gonna roll with the punches. So yeah, it was just kind of hard to see all that stuff go up when we definitely didn't expect for this to be our October. So it's been difficult, but we are still trying to put our best foot forward with the whole trying to conceive stuff. But before I get into that, that's basically everything that's going on with Remy. I mean, she's 2.5, not a whole lot going on. And oh, one thing though, I think one of my neighbors is working on something outside. So if you hear some power tools, that's what's going on. But what I was going to say is that Sophie did bring home her first sickness literally within 2 days of being in preschool. She brought home a cold, and we thought it was going to be some super quick 48-hour kind of thing, because she literally got over it in 48 hours. Like, she had a runny nose and congestion and a cough, and in 48 hours it was gone. I mean, gone. I was like, that's kind of crazy. I was like, that's the quickest cold I've ever seen. You always hear about like 48-hour stomach bugs or 24-hour stomach bugs, stuff like that. But I've never seen a cold, especially things like congestion, that normally takes a bit for your body to work out. But I swear, within 2 days, she was fine. Like, she got home on Thursday and she started to look like she might be sick, but it wasn't until Friday where she was actually coughing and, you know, all that stuff started kicking in. And by Monday, she was fine enough to go to school. And I was like, what was that? So when we all got it, we were all expecting to, like, I don't know, be done in 2 or 3 days. Nope. That kid must have like a crazy good immune system, because I am just now over it. I think it took like a little over 2 weeks for me. Mark still has a little bit of congestion, and Remy just a few days ago got over hers, because she did pass it to everybody. Of course, her sister got it first, and then me, and then Dad. So it honestly wasn't too bad. It was just a lot of congestion. Like, my throat did hurt for a couple days, and my eyes were watering, and just little things here and there. And I did have a cough every once in a while, but it was the congestion that was insane. Like, so much. So much. It was gross. It was so gross. And I think the reason why it also does take Remy longer to kind of clear up with colds is because she is not good about getting the congestion out. Sophie will literally ask me to suck her nose with the nose Frida, but Remy still hates that thing with a passion. Like, the way she screams when you do it, it's like, it's the worst thing you've ever heard in your life, honestly. And for that reason, I only suck her nose when I'm going to make it count. Because when she gets like that and she's crying, she's just creating more snot. So for me to do it every single day does not make sense, because I'm not going to take so much out that, you know what I'm saying? Like, the amount I take out needs to be more than the amount she's creating. So I was trying to wait for that, but she doesn't get nearly as cleared out as what her sister does. And I think that also affects things. But nevertheless, I was blowing my nose constantly and it still took me 2 weeks, so maybe that's not even true. But I think that is everything with the girls. I covered preschool and sickness and the new bed, and that's pretty much everything. And Mark did have his 31st birthday on Sunday, and it was a great day. Although I hugely underestimated the both exhaustion and pain I would feel from cooking all day. Like my feet hurt so bad because the night before I had made cheesecake, I'd made like a regular dinner and just did all this standing in the kitchen. And then the next morning I had to make breakfast, which was bacon, eggs, and strawberry pancakes. And then we had Italian subs for lunch. And like I was doing all this standing, all these dishes. Oh my gosh, it makes so many dishes when you cook for every single meal. I don't know how people do it. But it was a good day nonetheless. He had a good day, it was relaxed, and we had a lot of good food. That's probably why the scale didn't move when I went back to the office today, the doctor's office. But I was telling Mark I didn't know if I had lost any weight from everything I'd been doing, and I haven't. I've just maintained weight, so that's not bad. But at the same time, I would have liked to lose weight, but after Sunday I probably gained it all back, so there you go. But nevertheless, his birthday was a really great day. And also, if you didn't watch the review of the Let's Get Checked test for Mark, we did find out that he is low normal with testosterone. So he does have a doctor's appointment in a couple of weeks. And like I've mentioned in that review, you know, having low testosterone does not always mean that it affects fertility. It can, but it doesn't always mean that. So we are also going to look into that to see if that is affecting our fertility or not. But also, to kind of segue into that topic, I just got home from my first appointment with my new OB, and I don't know if I even told you guys that I was going to see a new OB because it was kind of a split decision. And honestly, you guys are probably so sick of hearing me talk about my OBs and my OB issues, but to give you guys a watered down version in case you're new, I had an OB, loved her. I have been with her for I think 6 years now. Well, was her patient for 6 years, had absolutely no complaints. She was always really compassionate and kind and always eager to help me. So back in the middle of this year, we found out that her practice was going to be dissolving and she had to find a place to go. And I was so worried because at that time I was pregnant, but then I wasn't pregnant, so it didn't turn out to be a huge deal. But it also ended up being really complicated because I had a chemical pregnancy at the time. Her office got shut down, but she wasn't at the new office accepting patients yet, and it was just craziness. And then I finally got in to see her, and to be honest, I don't know how to approach this. I don't know. I don't know how to word this. I have a lot of experience with her over the past 6 years, and I still stand by the fact that she's a really good doctor, and I loved her, and I take nothing back. I don't regret anything. But with that being said, I think she has a lot on her plate right now, and a lot going on, and I need a lot of attention. Patient-wise, I need that, and I don't think she's in a place to give that right now. You know, finding her footing in a new place and whatever. And I know everybody's gonna have different opinions, but I don't fault her for not being able to do the things maybe I need, or I don't know, just be the kind of doctor that I need right now. I don't fault her for that. But at the same time, I needed to find a doctor that was going to be a better fit for me. Her new office is a whole bunch of doctors again, and some of them were just primary care physicians, and there was a whole bunch of sick people in there. There wasn't any separate waiting rooms, so you all had to sit together, and I didn't really care for the staff because they do work for everybody. It didn't really feel personalized as her old office did, and I don't know, there was just like a lot of little things. They also ended up losing one of my test samples, which was really annoying, and they didn't tell me until almost 4 weeks later when I had called 3 times, and they finally told me, oh, we lost it, you can just come back in and give us another one. And I was like, that's the last straw. So I don't know, I just really wasn't feeling this new office, and like I said, I just need a certain kind of OBGYN right now with everything that we've been going through over this past year, and I just don't feel like it's her anymore. So that's the reason, along with the fact that I was reaching this decision internally and talking to Mark about it, and then I got a letter in the mail that said our insurance was dropping her from network, and I was like, well, there we go. And for those of you who don't live in the US, basically certain providers need to be in your insurance network. If not, you're going to pay out of pocket for it. So yeah, I kind of had no choice at the end of it, but I was teetering on that decision anyways. So I made an appointment, and unfortunately he is a little bit more, I don't know, he is farther away, but I don't really have a choice. When they dissolved that practice that I was going to, they basically made it to where anybody around the area that I live is going to have to drive 30 to 40 minutes to see an OBGYN, opposed to that practice being 15 minutes away from everybody. And it was like, let's not get into my feelings about that again. But anyways, I saw this new doctor, and first of all, he's the friendliest person I think I've ever met in my life. And he was very thorough. He was very kind and compassionate, and I really felt like he was, how do I put this? Like, he was trying to be thoughtful and be aware of the things he was saying, because he said something a little strange one time, asking me about my miscarriages versus my no, it was like how many pregnancies versus how many miscarriages versus how many live births versus how many living children. And we were talking about that, and he just kind of stumbled on his wording, and I didn't take any offense at all, but he apologized because he didn't want me to take offense. And I was like, I've literally never had a doctor tell me sorry for how they worded something before. I was like, this is just a good sign. So I don't know, I don't know, I just read so many good reviews about him, and then meeting him, it was just like, I can see why he has a ton of great reviews. And the whole office, like, his staff was friendly, no problems. The good thing about this office is I can get blood work done in office, which is so nice. I don't have to go to a different place. But with that being said, I had to go to their local hospital today because they didn't have the right tube for my blood. And that was an experience, which I'll tell at the end of this. But basically, he ordered a bunch of blood work, and it's going to test quite a few different things, basically to see if I have any certain syndromes or disorders that would put me at a higher risk of miscarrying. And we are also going to do an ultrasound in 2 weeks just to make sure I don't have any physical abnormalities, which I don't believe that I do. I've had several ultrasounds done before when I'm not pregnant, and we've never seen anything other than a tilted uterus, but that doesn't really affect fertility nor carrying a child. So anyways, I don't think that's going to be a big deal, but he did order those things. He said basically if all those things came back fine, the next step would be genetic testing, which again is something that my insurance might not even pay for. He again stated how rare it is that it comes back that there is something wrong, and he said it's his personal opinion that he thinks that because my losses have been primarily so early, like even my 12-week miscarriage, you know, the baby's heart stopped beating at 8 weeks. It's been so early on, and I have had 2 full-term healthy kids out of pregnancies, that he doesn't think that it's a genetic kind of thing. But at the same time, you know, if we want to cross that bridge, we can do it. It's just, I think to me, it's going to be a matter of if the insurance company is going to pay for it or not, because it's going to be upwards of $1,000 for each of us. Like, for both, $1,000 for Mark to get tested, then another $1,000 for me to get tested. And just don't have that kind of money to spend on a blood test. So it's unfortunate, but if our insurance won't pay for it, we most likely will not do it. And from there, I don't know that there is a whole bunch of things that we can do other than just try every month and try to get a full-term pregnancy. And I did also ask about progesterone, and he said basically the same thing my old OBGYN said, which was the fact that a lot of experts don't see any kind of benefit from progesterone when you're prescribed it in early pregnancy. He said that it may be able to help if you're deficient in progesterone and it's causing like a really short luteal phase, which is the time between when you ovulate and to where your period's supposed to begin. If that's too short, it can cause early miscarriages and just preventing being pregnant because it's not giving enough time. But he said to diagnose that, you need to have a blood test and a biopsy done on the 21st day of your cycle. a lot of insurances don't pay for the biopsy, and the blood test alone isn't enough to confirm it, and they say that even sometimes synthetic progesterone isn't enough to help it. Like, there's just all this stuff. And, you know, I know a lot of people recommend progesterone. I know a lot of people are on it, and that's not to knock what they're doing or what their doctors think is best. I'm not anyone's doctor, and I really don't care what other people do if it's making them comfortable and that's what they think is best for themselves. And clearly their doctor does too. Then I really don't try to concern myself with that. But I do get a lot of recommendations all the time about, looking into progesterone. And I've had two OBGYNs, one of which I respected through and through and had tons of experience and trust with. This new one, he seems to be amazing and has a lot of great reviews about him as well, and they both are saying the same thing, so I'm just going to trust my doctors. And I don't know, that's that. And maybe we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, maybe if all this stuff comes back. It's not off the table right now. I think what it really was is he just wanted to focus on right now getting those blood tests and getting the ultrasound done and taking it from there. So I don't know, it was just a really good visit, and I was really, really satisfied with my decision to just go ahead and do this. It was nerve-wracking, like I said, OBGYNs are an intimate part of your life, especially if you go to one for a really long time. They deliver multiple children of yours. Like, it's just very easy to get attached to them. But at the same time, I feel like I am in really good hands. And like I said, where did I say that at? Maybe I haven't told you guys? Yeah, maybe I haven't said it, but with this new OBGYN, I won't be seeing a whole lot of him. I'll be mostly seeing midwives or physician's assistants. So I'm totally okay with that, and I'll only see him on like a really need to see basis if I do get pregnant. Alia, after the fact, coming to tell you that I totally forgot to mention how the blood work thing went. Can't lead on that there was a story and not tell you guys. Basically, they couldn't find a vein in my arm, were digging around, made me nauseous from the digging around in my arm. Oh. And then they had to go to my other side and then use my hand, which I hate because I had a traumatic experience with someone digging around my hand once. And basically, at the end of the day, I was trying to throw up and pass out at the same time. It was great. It was an amazing experience. Not the worst experience getting my blood taken, but not my best either, so just wanted to fill you in on that. And lastly, I did want to mention physical therapy. I completed that. I did 5 whole weeks, and strength-wise, I feel really great. It has shown me I can see improvement just doing small things, gradually working up to it, and even on the days where I'm not feeling super well. For those of you who don't know, I have fibromyalgia, so it can be tough, really tough some days, and it's just been really great because it's built up my strength in my knees and my hips and in other places that have really been problem areas for me because of my pain with the fibromyalgia. It just, when you experience that amount of pain, especially in my case where it tends to be located a lot of the time, it makes me not want to use those parts of my body, which on a small scale is whatever, but when you've been in this amount of pain for such a long time and you're not using those body parts like you should be and making sure that they're strong, you do start to get weak, which only in turn is going to make pain worse. So strength-wise, I'm feeling amazing. Now, I will say, it has done a lot for me in that kind of respects, but my pain with fibromyalgia is still the same. When I have a bad day, it still hurts just as bad as it did before physical therapy, and that's not to say that physical therapy doesn't help or doesn't do anything. Totally not the case. It's something that is out of my control, out of other people's control, so unfortunately, it's just one of those things, So when I do have fibro pain, it's still the same. But I will say, from my day-to-day life, I feel a ton better from physical therapy. And, if your doctor has ever recommended it to you and you've been on the fence about it or whatever, I would totally recommend it. I don't know what the whole process is with getting approved for insurance. I don't know if you need to have an actual reason, but I think physical therapy is just great to get a baseline strength established, because that's probably what my problem was when I started working out and I hurt myself. This is months back. I went really hard into exercise like out of nowhere, and I ended up hurting both of my ankles really badly, and it took a couple weeks to recover from, and it's probably because I had absolutely no strength in them, and then I just tried to go like balls to the wall. So, you know, there needs to be a gradual build up to it. You know, you can't just be weak in areas and then expect them to do things as though they're not. So it was a really good experience. I liked physical therapy. I found it beneficial. I felt like it also like kind of pushed me. There was a lot of things, like they had me doing planks that I didn't think I could ever. I was like, no, like I would never do those on my own. I would never think to do them either. But they did a lot of things that like it was definitely work, but it's not like a workout either. So it was like a nice in between, and I don't know. I'm really glad that I did it. I almost chickened out right before doing it, and I'm really glad that I didn't and that I just went ahead, because it really was eye-opening that, you know, I can, you know, build my body up and treat it right and kind of treat it the way you're supposed to treat your body, and it rewards you for it. So in respects to my fibro pain, I do try and do these things every day still, but you know, I still, you know, on my hard nights, I'm still using my China gel. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on here. I think I've only talked about it on my Instagram, but my doctor recommended this for me. I got it off Amazon. I'll put in the link below. I'll put a link below, but this is what the inside looks like. And it's basically just like a super strong herbal version of Icy Hot. And I love it. I love it. It's so good. I just wish I could just like swim in it on my bad days with fibro. Like it's really good. But I think that's about everything that I can tell you guys. And I don't know, like I've been feeling like I need to make some kind of TTC update because it's been quite a while. But honestly, there's not been anything that's changed. You know, like we don't have any real new answers. You know, even with the low T with Mark, like I said, everything could be just fine. It could not be affecting his fertility whatsoever. So even that's like still kind of up in the air, and we're just gonna have to wait for my test results to get back. But maybe that's when I'll make that TTC update, is after his appointment and my appointments and stuff, which will be a little while because my appointment to go over my results with my doctor is like a month away. So we're gonna be waiting for a little bit, but hopefully sometime in November I can give you guys some kind of TTC update, or maybe, thankfully, hopefully, fingers crossed, you don't need one because I'll be pregnant. Wouldn't that be something? So yeah, I think that's about everything that I have. I need to get out there. I need to finish editing and uploading a video so you guys can see that. And yeah, I can't think of anything else. If you guys have any video requests, any kind of content you want to see from me, you can leave it down in the comments below. You can send me a message on Instagram, you know, whatever. I've been very much just doing the videos that I'm feeling lately. Like I just get like a random idea in my head and I'm like, let's do it. And I've been liking doing that, like just kind of following my mood for whatever I want to create. So I've been liking that. But I always like to hear about what you guys like to watch, you know, what my favorite video, wait, I said that wrong. What your favorite videos of mine are, and just any ideas that you have. And thank you so much for your guys' support. Really, through everything, it means so much to me. It means so much to my family. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.